Once upon a time.
If you just knew what it is I find so hard to say.
Twice upon a time.
If you just knew what it is I find so hard to say.
And now 3 more times.
I have to tell you something!
Can I talk to you about something?
A romantic story of lost and found love is found and lost again.
It's a romantic drama. It's questioning these characters' feelings for each other. Full of tension and full of conflict and decisions and questions.
Usually something that the audience doesn't expect, and they're kind of led in a certain direction as to where the story is actually going, but then it doesn't.
2 years later, I met a new woman.
This time we celebrate a story of love, hope, learning from mistakes, telling the truth, and telling the whole truth. The cast and crew of the 3 Times Moving trilogy share a journey. It begins with a kiss, leads to a lie,
I don't know what you're talking about.
and ultimately reveals a time forgotten.
You'll forget me. You already have.
Time Stops Moving began in which one magical night time appeared to stop, so that Adam, his girlfriend Jenna, his best friend Sarah, and the other woman Terry could reveal the truth they found so hard to say. Most recently in Time Always Moving, Adam took that truth with his new girlfriend Kirsty further by saying it out loud.
It's okay, you don't have to say anything.
I do. I have to say what it is that's so hard to say. The truth. Out loud. Because if I don't, then you'll leave. That'll be so much harder.
But truth has consequences, and the whole truth even more. And now as we move forward in time, we step back into it, to reveal a time Adam would rather forget.
What's going on, Abbas? What's really going on?
So let's go back to the time it all began, to discover the connections between Time Stops Moving and Time Always Moving, and the 3 Times Moving trilogy. I love you.
I love you too.
It's started off as quite a simple story, and then from that you get the complications.
In Time Stops Moving, there was obviously the story of the 3 different women in Adam's life, and this story connects to that one in the sense that he is still recovering from that story. He's still trying to find a way out, or trying to find a way back, more likely, to be honest, and is doing so through the character of Julie.
Why are you upset? I've had girls over before.
I've had girlfriends over before. I know how that usually turns out.
Trilogy is basically revolved around the same central character, Adam, and it sort of develops on the same themes.
It's kind of how his life moves and how he deals with that, or doesn't in some ways.
Jenna was in the first film, Time Stops Moving, and she was Adam's girlfriend at the time.
And she had trouble trusting Adam for no reason.
That's the girlfriend in the story. She didn't trust me. So she couldn't fully love me.
She left after the events of Time Stops Moving because she wasn't happy with Adam's involvement with the other woman, and perhaps his ambiguous relationship with Sarah, the best friend.
Then there was the best friend who I could never love.
And then of course he went off and started seeing the other woman, so she had every right not to trust him after that.
An amazingly beautiful and sexy girl who we could make love, but I wouldn't need to love.
There's like this the ghost of his ex-girlfriend lingering on everyone, on his memory, on his heart, and it's like it's a big and heavy shadow.
It wasn't like that. She'd actually trusted you in the first place.
I know she didn't trust you, and it had nothing to do with you, and it hurt you. But then you actually gave her a reason not to trust you. Why couldn't you just tell her the truth?
But there's something that Adam's been holding on to her, and we don't exactly know why. We know that all we know is that she left, and we don't know the exact circumstances of that. But in the 3 Times Moving trilogy, we find out.
And then in Time Always Moving, it's sort of what happens after these events. And throughout that story, the character of Kirsty is constantly trying to decipher what happened in Adam's life and what happened in his past.
You're not going to tell me?
And this is all kind of clarifying it.
Time stops moving. Time always moving. 3 times moving, the kiss through time. 3 times moving, a time to lie. And 3 times moving, time forgotten. All 5 short films connect through time. And now as we reveal the 3 newest times, in which we discover more of what happened after Jenna and the others left. Will Adam's found love be lost?
She stayed. Well, I told her the story. And I told her I want you to know that I'll never treat you like any of those women. I'll never do anything like that again. I'm so sorry for what happened. I wanted you to know that. It may seem like I can't, but I can. Because I do. I love you, Kirsty.